What's up guys, this is Kim from EinfachMachen. In this video I'd like to share with you a quick and simple use case how you can create your own ticketing system using Power Automate Planner and Microsoft Outlook, so stay tuned. First of all, let's have a look on the use case. So our motorcycle rental Mofaschuppen is a young company that uses Microsoft 365 for its internal collaboration, and Mofaschuppen wants to make more out of the Microsoft 365 suite and wants to get to know the Power Platform. Sometimes these old mopeds or Mofas, how we call them in Germany, cause some problems, and there is currently no standardized process how these requests are handled. So our goal for today's video is that the customers from Mofaschuppen should be able to report problems with their rented vehicles, with their rented motorcycles through a simple ticketing system. And we want to leverage Outlook, Planner and Power Automate to implement this ticketing workflow. One requirement is that for a ticket we always need at least one photo so that the mechanics can see what's the problem and what tools they need and what spare parts they need. So the basic process is that a customer has a problem with a vehicle and he sends an email just to the email address ticket@Mofaschuppen. And when an email received in this inbox, a flow gets triggered and checks whether there's an attachment. If there's no attachment, the submitter gets an email back and is asked to attach an image to his email. If there is an attachment, the email gets processed and the information from the email gets extracted and a planner task gets created. After that, the attachments are saved into a SharePoint folder and a sharing link is created, which afterwards gets attached to the planner task. And after this planner task is updated, a confirmation is sent to the submitter. Also, the team gets notified that there is a new ticket, that there is a new prop with a rented motorcycle, and this notification gets sent by an adaptive card into Microsoft Teams. So let's have a look how we can build this stuff. The first thing we need to do is to create a shared mailbox called ticket at your domain. In my case it's Mofaschuppen. I will call this just ticket and give it the name ticket@mofaschuppen.de. And we need this shared mailbox to be shared with the user who creates the flow. This might be an organizational account or a service account. In my case I would just share it with my personal email account. Add the member here. And that's basically all we need to do to use this mailbox in our Power Automate flow. And now we will have a look on our flow. And now we will create a new automated flow. I will call it new ticket and search for Outlook as my trigger. There it is. When a new email arrives, we'll select this one and create the new flow. So to use the shared mailbox we just created, we need to add a new connection. And for this, we need to log in with our new shared mailbox account. Maybe you have to reset the password or set a password at all. You can go to the admin panel and set a password for this account. Select the reset password and the password will be sent to my email account. So I received an email to my inbox and now I can add the new connection because I have a password for this shared mailbox account. And as you can see, there's the new connection. So now I'm sure that when a new email arrives into the ticket mailbox, this flow gets triggered. We will test this just by sending a short email to this mailbox. So I've just sent a quick email and as you can see, the flow already run successfully. And as you can see, there's the email address entered into the compose action. So this flow works properly, the connection is set up properly, and now we can move on creating our ticketing workflow. So I've deleted the compose action because we don't need this anymore. First thing that I would do is initialize a variable and check whether there's an attachment, because that was one of the major requirements from Mofaschuppen, that only emails with an attachment with an image of the problem that occurred for a motorcycle get sent and get processed into the ticketing system. So I would name this var has attachment, could be a bool, and I can use this has attachment from my Outlook trigger. Would document it quickly. So we could also insert a flow trigger in here so that the flow does not get triggered when there is no attachment, but we want to send an email to our customer that he should attach an image so that his ticket can get processed, and that's why we initialize a variable at this point. And the next step is we add a condition and we will check whether there is an attachment. So if this is true, then the ticket gets processed. Otherwise, we will send an email to our customer and ask him politely to attach a photo. So we will enter the send email action from Outlook, use the sender of the message as the top property, could enter a dynamic subject here. We will do a static subject in this case, and we will just send a short message in this case that we need an attachment to process the issue and that the customer can just answer to this email so that the flow gets triggered and the ticket gets processed if there's an attachment. We will save the flow and make a quick test on that. Just send this email that my moped doesn't work. And if we take a look at our flow run, we can see that the flow runs successfully and that the condition also worked right and that the emitter of the ticket, in this case the Kim at Mofaschuppen email address, gets this message back to please include an attachment. So now we can focus on the true condition if there's an attachment. And the first thing we would do is create a planner task, and we will look for the planner action and select create a task. So we will sign in into our planner and look for the correct group. This is how the planner looks like. Empty currently. We have just one bucket here. We will call it backlog. This is where we want to insert our tickets. We'll get back to the flow and select the appropriate plan. And as the title, we want to choose the subject of the email, and we can also choose the backlog as our bucket. So we want to place the ticket inside. We save the flow, and now we already managed to create a task, but we also want to process the details of the email, so the text and the attachments. Therefore, we will create another step and get the details of that email. So we would choose the get email action and select the message ID, and of course we want to include the attachments. Then the next step, I will create a new folder because I want to create a folder to save the attachments for each ticket, and we will later use this folder to attach it to our planner task. I will choose my site and my library. In this case, I created a library called tickets, and in this case I would just create the folder based on a timestamp. You can choose whatever convention you want to choose for your own use case. And after I created my folder, I can now create the files within this folder. I will look for the create file action, and now I will select the full path. This is funny. Power Automate just switched from English to the German language. As long as this works, we take this option. And now I can choose the attachment's name and the attachment's content, and the for each loop will be created for me. And just to verify that this works fine, we will do another test with an attachment, and I will attach 2 pictures to this ticket and send it to the ticket inbox. And as always, there's the first error we received, and I did some mistake with the naming of my folder path. SharePoint does not like my convention, therefore I will choose another convention for this. I will concat the UTC now and format it to another format. Maybe we will use the year and the month and the day, and afterwards the hour under the minute and the second. And maybe we will also include who sent this ticket to us and separate this with the underscore and give it another try. We will test it with the flow that just failed, and now we can see that the flow runs successfully. And we will have a look at our tickets document library, and as we can see, here's on the folder path with the timestamp, the email as who sent this, and now we can move on attaching these images to our ticket. So the next step we want to do is we want to create a sharing link, attach this link to our planner task. So we will look for a link, and there it is, create sharing link or file a folder, and we will choose the ID from our folder, and we can also choose the receiver of the link should only view the content or view and edit the content. We will put this on view only. And in the next step, if we want to share this with external people who are not in our organization, we have to choose anyone with a link, including anonymous. Depending on how you set up your privacy policies in the admin center, you maybe have to change this so that you can create links that are available for people without your organization, so anonymous, so that anyone can open this link. I will quickly show you how to do this. So from the admin center, you have to go to the SharePoint admin center. From there on, you can choose the policies, maybe it's called in English, and the sharing policies. And here you can choose how restrictive or how less restrictive your policies should be. And for this example, I would choose that we can create sharing links that are available to anyone with the link. And I will save this. In my case, I've already adjusted this in my admin center. And now I can update my planner task. For this, I will look for planner, search for update, choose the update task details. And now I can choose the task ID and choose the custom value and search for the ID. There it is, the ID of the task. We could also add the description now if you want to, for example, use the body of the email as the description of the task. Insert this here. And the next step, I would insert the reference. I would call this link to the attachments and enter the reference link. And in this case, I will use the sharing link that I've created in the previous step. Now I can save this. And the last two steps that we want to perform now is to send the confirmation to our customer and to send the adaptive card into our Teams channel. First of all, we will look for the send email, or we can copy this send email action. Maybe we will rename it. And as we set up the privacy policy though, so that we can make the link accessible to external users, we can also send the sharing link to our customer so that he can have a look on which attachment he sent to us. We will save this. The last step is the adaptive card. Look for adaptive card in our search, post an adaptive card in a chat or channel, and choose the channel, choose the right team, and we will just post it in the general channel. And now we need to create the adaptive card, and for that there's a pretty nice adaptive card designer provided by, I think it's from Microsoft. The adaptive cards is basically a JSON schema to present richly formatted content. I could also interact with this card and I can embed it in, for example, a chatbot or a Teams channel or something like that. So in my case, I will select as the host at Microsoft Teams. So this is what it might look like in Teams. And in my case, just to keep it simple, I don't need this image, don't need this column either, don't need this set due date. We will create a pretty simple adaptive card. We'll also delete this stuff because I want to create a really simple adaptive card. Copy this payload. So that's basically the JSON schema here. Now I can get back to my insert this here. And now I will just replace these placeholders and just paste it here. So the title, the published adaptive card schema, this one should be the object or the title of my ticket. This here should be the email address. Send this ticket to us. So we'll insert the from property down here. And also I want to insert the timestamp here. And for this I will use the format datetime function and choose the created datetime, format it a bit. And also I want to insert the body right here from my email. Now I will save my flow. So this is our flow now, and now we will test this and have a look on whether all actions run properly. And as we can see, there's an error with our sharing option or the creation of the sharing link, and that's basically because the sharing has been disabled on the side. So we will have a look on this, look for whether we can configure it so that this works properly, and we will find the policies for checking whether we can share with external users at the SharePoint admin center. So I will have a look on the website, and as you can see, we need to choose this option that we can share files and folders with everyone. We will save this and try our flow again. And as we can see, the flow runs successfully. To be honest, it took me 1 or 2 trial and errors because I've always got an error when posting this adaptive card. So I converted the body from an HTML to a plain text, and this fixed the error. And as you can see, here's the message that gets posted into our team, and here we can see the ticket that gets created. So to be honest, I would convert the body to plain text before I insert this into the task, so this would be something I would fix afterward. And also we can see that the files get created in our folder, and we also can reach these files from our planner task by clicking on the link, and then we get navigated to our SharePoint folder. So that's it basically. I would do some beautifying on this, but in the end that's the workflow. To create your own simple ticketing system, the next step would be to process these tickets and to send notifications or approvals or something like that when a ticket is finished. But I think this is a bit too much for this video, so if you're interested in this, leave me a comment below this video. I hope you found it interesting and it's helpful for you to create your own simple ticketing workflow. Thank you for watching and see you next time.